Hi there. I'm Charlotte Cheney, and this is Soul Connections with Charlotte's Soul. And this is my husband that I
Howdy.
like to call my boyfriend, Brian
That's
Cheney.
me.
And tonight we're going to talk about relationships. And so there's Tiara. Hey, Tiara. Tiara is our famous friend. If you watch the Food Network, Guys Family Food Feud,
And she knows how to make hardtack.
she's a big winner, man. She's one of our favorite people, and she's just got a really special boy that we love too. So, Brian and I have probably one of the best relationships of anyone I've ever met.
Yep,
Right?
I'd say so.
It's true, and so that just doesn't happen all the time, does it?
Nope.
No. So, well, we were going to talk a little bit about why we do. And so, what do you think? What do you think the number one reason is for our good relationship?
Lots of dark chocolate.
No.
No, it's not it.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
It helps.
It does.
Helps.
It's a good. It's a good.
M&Ms?
No.
No, not that
No.
either. Okay.
What is it?
Well, it has to be God. We've got God at the center of our relationship. It's been there since day one. And I was a pretty strong Christian before in my last marriage, and going in, through my divorce and through my dating years, and I put it aside for a little while, which probably wasn't the right thing to do. And
You put what aside?
my faith. I had my faith there, but when I got into, dating when I was single, I think I told you this before. I didn't want to cut down
You're talking to our thing here.
the number of qualified applicants. Let's put it that way. So
Explain that. I want you to get a little bit graphic.
okay, so when I started dating, I was like, wow, this is kind of cool, kind of fun. I met
How long had you been married?
23 years.
Okay.
And so I started dating and met some really
Hi,
nice.
Becca.
I met some really nice women. Met some really crazy women. So I still went to church. I was involved in my Bible study and all those things, but I wasn't looking for a Christian woman.
How come?
Well, because there was I didn't want to restrict. I didn't want to just channel it into. I didn't want to be open-minded.
Hi, Natalie.
And thought I might meet somebody that's really nice. That maybe it didn't matter that much or whatever. It turns out that was probably not the right way to go.
Okay, so you were thinking that you found someone that matched your faith.
Mhm.
We love you too, Natalie. That it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, I guess it was maybe not so much fun, but I didn't want to. I mean, I was
Hi,
having
Becca.
fun going to happy hours and stuff like that, and I didn't. There goes the cat and the dog. So I just wanted to, be open-minded and be, open to whoever I might want to date or whatever. And I didn't really believe that I could find a rock solid Christian woman that was attractive, that was fun, that was funny, that would respect me, that would make me feel like a man and all that. And I did. So, and here she is right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that happen, do you think?
Well, so after a lot of dead ends and a lot of mistakes along the way, I guess probably in early 2015.
Talk up to her.
I'm not used to this. I'm
Okay,
your
but
guest.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm
whatever,
just teaching you.
talking
You
to
little tip.
I
Right
can
up
really-
here. Talk up here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Camera. So anyway, I guess probably in early 2015, I decided, okay, God, you want me to find a Christian woman. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go find one. Well, that's exactly what he doesn't want you to do. He wants you to let that all go and let him decide and follow his will. And I hit some more dead ends. And after that point, probably around the spring, I was like, you know what, God, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to go do my kayaking. I'm going to go tubing with my friends. I'm going to go to concerts. I'm going to enjoy doing my sound stuff. I'm going to work hard at my job. I'm going to take care of my kids. And, if you put somebody in my path that I need to pay attention to, I will. But I'm just going to be happy the way I am. And if I'm 80 years old and still single, I know you're going to take care of me and you're going to give me everything I need.
So you basically said, God, your will be done.
That's correct.
Right. And whatever it is, I'm willing to have your will.
That's
and
right.
I'll be honest with you, I did the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay. I was in an environment where it didn't work for me and I needed to leave. And I didn't know what God had in store for me. I certainly didn't expect this, but I did come across yesterday a prayer that I prayed in June. Now, you and I met in August
That's right.
of 2015. In June of 2015, I found this prayer, and I'm going to share part of it with everybody tonight. Lord, you are enough. but I know one day you'll send me a partner to come and care for my emotions. And I pray, God, for his love and for his relationship with you, to know you well. He has to have suffered. I'm going to stop there for 1 minute. And I do believe that. I think that people that really know the Lord well, hi, Patty, have suffered. Okay. And that's how I came to know him really well. And so I said, to know you well, he has to have suffered. I love that I will be able to be the one to bless him. I am not asking for him to be broken, God, of course, but I do believe in the gifts that you've given me, blessed me with, and they will bless him the same way that his gifts will bless me. May he be.
I don't know what that says there. You're writing.
No, well, I dictated it. May he be
sure to my heart and an encourager.
Yeah.
Skip ahead.
Okay. May he be an encourager to my heart, and may his desires be that you, Lord, be glorified through both of us. And so I was praying for you. I was asking God for you. And I knew that maybe that wouldn't happen, but I did believe. I said, Lord, I do believe there's someone out there. And so I had faith, but I also wasn't looking for someone to fill my void. I didn't have this huge void. Lord, bring me someone who's going to just be everything to me. And I also wasn't looking hi, Deb, wasn't looking to go fix somebody.
And you didn't need fixed. I dated women who needed fixed. I mean, really badly fixed. And you didn't need fixed. I was like, wow, she's happy. She's whole. She knows what she wants.
I had done a lot of work before I met you. I did a lot of work at the end of my marriage. I did a lot of work in the summer before I met you. The night before I met you, I was getting ready for this book signing here in Frederick, which the Christian bookstore is no longer here. But I did remember that before that night, I was just in my condo in Annapolis, and I was like, God, do you think I could have a boyfriend? I just was feeling lonely, but I didn't have this void I needed filled. But I just thought, God, I'd love to have a boyfriend. Well, the next day I'm in my book signing, and boom, you come bounding in there with your energy. And I just felt like there hadn't been blood in these veins before, or air in these lungs before, and I didn't know what had hit me. And I think we've got some pretty cool things going on with us because, okay, we've been in relationships that didn't work, and so I think we're a lot more forgiving with each other. I know that when I was 20 or when I was a younger woman in a relationship, I really felt like I had to fight for my way. And I notice a lot in our relationship, like let's say we're in the kitchen and you're doing something altogether wrong.
Never.
And I either, I think about it, is it really that important to correct him? Or is it really that important? Where I think when I was a younger woman in my former marriage, I felt like, no, we need to get this right. Right. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
That it's just some things are not worth it.
Right. Just let it go.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. And I think that's something that's really important. So prayer, getting healthy independently. I was healthy, although I had a ton of healing ahead of me to do. I was still healthy. I was in a relationship with the Lord, and that was, and always will come in front of my relationship with you. And I know and hope and pray.
before our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me how the hierarchy of our family goes.
Well, it's easy. It's God, it's us, and then it's our kids. And, he's before you.
Right.
Sorry to say that, but, he's before you.
Right.
But it has to be because, and also, I know you're going to get into this, but anytime we don't really have a fight, we've never really had a fight. But we'll have some things we need to discuss or something we need to figure out. And, when we go back to the Bible, almost like an instruction book, like, well, let's see what the Bible says about this issue that we're trying to wrestle with. So it gives us a really solid place to go back to when we don't know what's going on. If that doesn't work, we would go to counseling. We haven't been to counseling, but if we needed to, we would.
That's right.
Because I think you can't have a good relationship without going to a third party or some type of therapist or counselor when you have an issue if you can't solve it. Because It's not easy. There's no, this is the first time that anybody has been in this exact relationship like this. I tell my kids all the time, this is the first time that I've ever raised an 18-year-old, a 23-year-old, 24-year-old, and I'm going to make mistakes. I don't know what's going on here. We're going to make it up as we go.
Okay, so we're teachable.
Right. You have to be.
So that's important. And one thing I valued about you from the get-go is that you want me to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Independent of you, you really want me to do well. Hi, Gina. And that's really special. And that's kind of, for me, that's kind of unique.
Well, I can see things that you're capable of doing that you can't see that you're capable of doing.
And I feel the same way. And so I really want what's good for you, not just what's good for me.
Right.
And you want what's good for me, not just what's good for you. And I think that's really,
you have to be very
important.
selfless to do that.
Right. And that means, so I'm paying attention to your life. I care about the things you're doing, and not all the time. I mean, we have to have a little bit of a, there's an area of pretending I care what wires he's talking
like
about.
Like my new cordless drills or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So but I'm going to pretend, but I'm not going to criticize you, and I'm not going to be like, oh, that's good, or I'm going to be like, wow, Brian, I'm really, if you're excited about that, I'm going to really try and be excited about it. So we talked about prayer, being healthy individually, being willing to take it or leave it. So there was never a part of my meeting Brian where I'm like, I have to have him. I have to absolutely have him. He is absolutely the right one for me. And I think you felt the same way.
You can't make me your God.
Hi, John.
And you're not going to be my God, and you can't make me yours. I can't measure up to that level.
That's right.
So, if you have a spouse or if you have someone else that's trying to do that to you, you're never going to measure up. You're going to displease that person forever. And it's probably time to go to therapy, go to counseling.
Right. So honestly, and I still have to kind of be this way. I'm committed to you. I've committed my life to you, but I have to be take it or leave it. If you die, and Brian has to live with this on a daily basis, I'm a cancer survivor. I had stage 3 rectal cancer. And I think he considers my life to be a gift every day. Which is really, really special to have. But he has to carry on if I'm not here. I have to carry on if he's not here. And we can't just be dependent on one another. So we need to be independent and just enjoy these things. Okay, so when they haven't brought up was this, it's what a convenient night. So this here, let's see if I can show this off a little bit. My wedding ring is in the shop. Hi, Jen. This is my purity ring, which is a little bit hard to see, but it says true love waits. And when I took my previous wedding ring off in my former marriage, I put this ring on and I said, God, I am yours and only yours. And this is your body, this is your heart, and this is your soul. And nobody is going to have any sexual contact with this body unless you have said, okay, God, you are my father, and I will need you to present me to a man. And so when Brian and I met, and I felt like I couldn't breathe because he literally took my breath away. And then he started flirting with me over text, and it was all this crazy stuff. And then he sent me a scripture verse, and I blew him.
You sent me the first emoji.
I sent him a kissing emoji. Yes. And I was horrified because I thought I didn't know anything about dating. I'd been married forever and not in the dating world at all.
You weren't on any dating apps or anything?
Nothing. No, I was barely ready to date. So we went out to lunch, and you picked the place and happened to be in a hotel, and I was horrified. Oh my gosh.
Why? It's out by Route 100. It's called, what's it called?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, it's a really nice restaurant in the bottom of the
my gosh. But I'm thinking, you hear these things anyway. So we get there, we're having lunch, and I still can't breathe. And anyway, I'm getting to know each other, and we have all this stuff in common. And so I say, listen, I got to talk to you about this. And I show it to him, and he's like, wow.
And I said, check, please. No, I didn't say that.
He said, wow, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that. And so he didn't say check, please, at all. He said, I've been thinking about that. And so, and if you're just tuning in, this is my purity ring that I'm wearing while my wedding ring's being fixed. But I said, I mean it. This is so.
And I said, I would honor that.
And you did.
Yeah.
He not only honored it, he went out and he got his own purity ring. And this was a little forward of you because we barely knew one another.
It was like about 2 weeks after we met.
And he had engraved in it for Charlotte only.
Mhm. I still have it. It's upstairs somewhere.
But he showed me what it meant to be a man of God in a very, very tempting situation.
So let's back up a minute. What God was trying to tell me from January of that year was, Brian, will you trust me? Will you trust me? I know what you're looking for. I've got what you're looking for, but you've got to trust me on this thing. And I didn't want to fully trust him. I was like, yeah, I kind of, sort of, maybe believe you, but I still think I can do a better job. So when I did fully trust him, that's when he just opened up the floodgates of exactly what I was looking for.
And so I come and I tell you that there's not going to be any sex.
Yeah. And there wasn't.
And you're like, okay.
I was like, all right, you're worth waiting for.
Wow. Wow. Guys, I cannot begin to tell you what that says to the heart of a woman.
It does. And it's funny because
it says, I care about you.
And when I would tell people in our crowd what we were doing, you know, we wouldn't broadcast it, you know, but we would share, you know, what we were doing, and women were just, someone would break into tears like, wow, you know, a guy would actually do that for you. And I was like, yeah, I guess I am. And, you know, guys would say, good luck with that dude. But, you know,
if you're like, you're a coach and you have a woman client, or, you know, you're in a relationship with another woman for some professional reason or whatever, I'm not thinking, oh, wow, what's he doing? Or can he control himself? I'm thinking, wow, no, I absolutely know who he is, and I know what he can do in temptation. And so I there's no jealousy. It was just the sexual purity part of our relationship. I think is just absolutely.
Trust. You kept telling me all the time, I really can trust you.
I could, and I can. It just never went away. And so our relationship was founded on something other than hooking up.
Right.
And then when the hooking up started, hello, it worked out real well.
When it was time.
When it was time. All right. So let's imagine someone is in a troubled marriage, but not a toxic marriage. And can you tell me some things that you think a person or a relationship, it doesn't have to be a marriage, but if it's troubled, but not toxic. So one thing, how would you begin to tell if your relationship was toxic versus troubled?
So let me answer it this way.
Okay.
So I have 5 things that I wrote down that I thought would be relevant to this.
Okay.
And here's the way I'll answer that. If you don't have these things, if it's not easy for you to do these things right here,
right,
you may be in a toxic relationship that you need to get some help with.
Okay.
So one thing is, we talked about God. I want to serve her because, you know, if she needs something done, if she, you know, cooked it, I will volunteer to clean up. If, you know, her car needs some work or cleaned out, whatever. You know, I want to serve you, whatever you need done. If I see you struggling with something, I want to say, hey, how can I help? Because I want to.
Oh, you do not know how loved I feel, because that's how you treat me.
Yeah, but you treat me the same way. So you see me doing things, hey, can I help you out with this? Can I help you out with that? Or whatever it might be. So, you know, you have 2 people almost trying to outserve each other, which is really cool. So that's one thing. And it's unconditional. You never say, well, I'll help you with this, but, you know, I'm not going to be real happy with that, or you're going to have to do this tomorrow. There's never a condition.
So let me stick a pin in on right there.
Put kicks
yeah, we have some comments from church, and Tiara knows them. Anyway, Tara's dad's our pastor. So, okay. So I'm a woman, and sometimes I get bitchy. Let's just say it. Sometimes I can be a little bitchy, and there's not a rhyme or reason to it. And you can't just go fix it and polish it up. It's just a big.
And she asked me, she goes, why do you love me when I'm this bitchy? I'm like, because I know it'll pass.
That's the thing. You let me be. You don't come in and you try and fix it and control me and micromanage me and say, hey, don't be this way or whatever. You're just like,
or when the coffee overflows or whatever.
Right. You just let me be.
It's part of, like I said before, it's a cost of doing business.
It's such a gift.
Comes with the territory.
It's such a gift. And then I have ADD, and it's
hilarious. Actually, all of that put together, she's absolutely freaking hilarious. It's like comedy going on all the time.
It's so nice to be appreciated.
Yeah.
And I truly appreciate you. I live in a home where nothing is broken because everything's fixed. And I'm not trying to say, like, be like us, but maybe in your relationship, check on the things you're focusing on. Are you focusing on what you're getting or what you're
you're
giving? Or
here's the thing, you got to be careful of that, because if you're in a relationship where you say, okay, I'm going to give, and you give and give and give and give, and the other person takes, and nothing comes back, that's a toxic relationship.
That's
you need that needs to be fixed, or, dissolved, or whatever. So the other thing, can I add?
yeah, please do. Yeah.
So the other thing is a safe place to talk. So when we do have a disagreement or